Here's the Deal is brought to you by VEBS, Veteran Essential Business Services. We are your business air support. We have your six. You served your country faithfully. Now it's time to blaze your own path. Here's the Deal is a show for veterans, by veterans, to discuss real world issues on how to start and run your own business. It's a cross between Dave Ramsey, Maria Bartiromo, and Joe Rogan. This is not academia, it's the truth. Here's the deal. Here's the Deal is proud to present our very first sponsor. It's B&G Chicago Catering. If you're in the mood for fresh, authentic Chicago style favorites, check out B&G Chicago Catering. Founded by two Marine vets, and no, there's no crayon flavors involved here. B&G Chicago Catering is professional mobile food cart service, well suited for large crowds and intimate gatherings. Currently serving the Metro Phoenix and Metro Tucson areas. B&G Chicago Catering will drive up to your next event, business storefront, or private party. Chicago classics like Chicago dogs, my personal favorite is the Italian beef, bratwurst, Polish sausage. They got tamales and more. All their food is made to order, hot and fresh, using only Vienna products. B&G Chicago Catering comes fully equipped and takes care of all the cleanup. So if you're looking for a way to give back to your employees and all the efforts they've been putting forth this year, need a last minute option for a small intimate birthday party, need to spotlight your storefront reopening, which hopefully they all get there soon, check out B&G Chicago Catering. You can find them at www.bgchicagocatering.com. You can follow on Instagram at BG Chicago Catering 520. Give them a call at 520-262-7596. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Chris Flowers. I'm your host of Here's the Deal, and we are going to have Moses Sanchez of Nonnahs Marketing on the phone. I'm going to actually dial him right now. We're going to get him going on the phone for our latest interview.
Hello?
Hey, Moses.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, brother. Hey, it's Chris Flowers, and you are on live on Here's the Deal. How you doing, bro?
Woohoo! It's another fine Navy day.
But remember, you're in an Army world, so just remember that. So, oh man, so I'm just excited to have you on the show. I was telling the audience here, give a little preview today. I popped in a video, just making sure everybody was, getting ready to stay tuned because I know you're gonna drop some really good knowledge on us. The reason why I wanted to have Moses on, I mean, other than just him being an outstanding person, but he's really kind of like, how you say, the poster child for, to me, for success, because this, as I've met his parents, and they, immigrated here and everything, and then, obviously, Moses blazed his own path, and he joined the Navy. He's been a 23-year Navy vet, and then, he became a college professor, and he started his own business, and his family's involved in the business, and it's like, to me, like I said, just an amazing story. So, but obviously, I can't tell it nearly as well as you. So, but you know how we do it here at Here's the Deal. I want to get as much inspirational information out there, so that way we just inspire veterans to just go out there and live the dream like you're going out and living your dream and following your passions and stuff. So, Moses, why don't you just go ahead and take it away? Give us give us your story and just tell us, everything that you're doing. Tell us everything you're doing at Nonnahs Marketing, and kind of go from there, man.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, Chris. Yeah, you're right. I am blessed. I mean, me and my wife, we were just talking about that. We actually talk about it often, how blessed we are. We were talking about it last night at dinner. It's 2020 and all the chaos that's happened this year. And as we're having dinner, we look at all the blessings that we have. And
Absolutely.
you have to stop and realize that we are blessed, right? We have resources. We have many blessings, and a lot of them are in disguise, and we just don't realize it until you start looking and paying attention, right?
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, my journey is it's an interesting one. I came to the United States in 1981, and I coming to America as an immigrant from Panama, and my parents were really seeking that American dream, and they were trying to get away from the dictatorship in Panama at the time. His name was Manuel Noriega.
Yeah, we dealt with him later.
That's right. We dealt with him back in the late 80s, right? And so when we came to America, we really didn't have a lot of resources. Both my parents are native Panamanian. I'm from Panama. My sister was from Panama, and English is our second language. And so they had family here. My dad had a brother up here, a couple of brothers up here, and my mother had a sister who married a service member, and she was up here as well. So, but we really didn't have anything else. No college education. No, we didn't have any resources, but a lot of hard work and determination. And proud to say that my parents did well, right?
And your parents are outstanding people. I love them to death.
Yeah, they're great people. My father ended up working at he retired after 33 years with PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, out in California, in Northern California. He brags he put all the gas pipes in every house in the city of San Jose. So
wow.
He did that for 33 years, retired with a nice pension, and he's golfing 3 times a week right now.
Beautiful.
My mother is a charge nurse in the emergency room over at Stanford Medical Center in Pleasanton, California, Northern California, and she's been in healthcare for 35 years now. So she did well for herself as well, and she still works, but by choice. And so the two of them had 3 of us. There's 3 of us. I'm the oldest, and then I have 2 sisters. We're about 5 years apart, and all 3 of us graduated with bachelor's degrees. I went on and got my master's, and my youngest sister, she went on and got her nurse practitioner license. So she got her doctorate in nursing.
Nice.
And so we're all the American dream. We're all educated. We all have professions, careers, and we've done really well. So I could say that my parents never had a hand me down, but they did have a lot of support, a lot of help, and yeah, and so here we are, right?
And then what prompted you to join the Navy?
Oh, that was like, I think a lot of veterans, a lot of service members, they come to a crossroads, typically at a young age. So for me, that crossroads was before I graduated high school. My father said, "Hey, you can either go to college and I'll pay for it, or you can join the military." And I said, "I'll go to college, and you can pay for it." And he said, "Okay, but you'll have to live by certain rules." And one of those rules and restrictions, my father had to be up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, to go to work every day. Is I couldn't be out past 10 o'clock. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Yeah, that's not going to work. Here I am, a grown adult, and you're telling me I can't be out past 10 o'clock. I'm joining the Navy.
Then you found a whole new set of restrictions, didn't you?
And they had a whole new set of restrictions, right? So it took me, I joined the Navy in 1995, and it was incredible experience. But let's be honest here, right? That first year, I was a deck seaman, a deck ape, a grunt, and it's not everything they promise you, right? And I think after the first, I know, right? After that first 9 months, I realized, man, I really want to go to college, right? I think I could do different, and I did. And in the Navy, I excelled. Moved up through the ranks and changed I cross-rated, which just means I changed my MOS to a different field where I got to go to school for a long time, for a year. And during that time frame, I realized I really like this education thing, learning. I really enjoyed learning. And so I did 3 years active duty and got out and went right into college. And that's when I met my wife while I was in college, and graduated with my bachelor's. Joined the reserves later on. I went back, missing it, right? Missing that camaraderie,
Mm-hmm.
that the fraternal order, right? Um, and joined the reserves in 2000. It was 2004 when I joined the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in the reserves since 2004, uh, and I'm getting really close. I'm less than a year from retiring, so I'm really excited to
Outstanding.
close the chapter of that military career. And my son joined the reserve, so I'm proud to say that my son is also a reservist. He's been in for 5 years now, so he joined right out of high school as well.
Right
And
on.
that's what got me in. What kept me in was good leadership, good duty. I had some pretty great experiences, and I think that's typically what keeps most people in is if you have a good command and some good leaders, you'll stick around a little longer. If you get stuck in a bad unit or a bad command with some poor leadership, you're more likely to leave for better options.
Of course. So now, I know we're not going to talk too much about your MOS, uh, but how did you get into marketing? How did you start your own marketing company? Like, how did all that come about? That was because again, it wasn't, you know, like I said, the like my transition going from being like I said security forces and then going into being an FO, going into commercial banking again. Not your typical path, right? So
Correct.
I know
Yeah.
you
Right.
you had a very you had a very atypical path getting into marketing. Like, so what prompted you to get into marketing, and what were like you say, how did you kind of start going about it and pursuing it, and then what do you think has led to your success so far?
I think the short answer to that is politics. Politics is how I ended up in marketing. Politics has really been like at the core of many of my great successes. When I say my greatest success is marrying my amazing wife, my beautiful wife Maria. She's the greatest success I ever had, and I met her.
Amen to
Um,
that, brother. Because I met her, so you're right about that.
she's incredible, and I met her. I was a field representative for a Congress member in the Bay Area, and I went to a women in business luncheon where she happened to be the guest speaker, the VIP speaker at this women in business luncheon. My wife is an obstetrician gynecologist who deals with addiction medicine, so she has a really unique patient group population. And so at this particular luncheon, she was talking about menopause. And I was the only male in a women in business luncheon while listening to this physician talk about menopause. And so this is how I met my wife. Politics,
Awkward. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
right? So fast forward to many years later, when I got deployed to Afghanistan in 2011. When I got back from Afghanistan, my kids were in high school, and one of the things that they tell you when you get back from a deployment is you gotta spend time with your family. You can't just like jump back into like regular world like the real. No, they learn to function without you being at home. So really observe, learn from them, watch what they do, and just kind of mold back into their world.
Get into the rhythm,
And
yeah.
yeah, and one of the things I decided to do with the excitement of my daughter, who happened to be a junior in high school at the time, was run for school board for the high school district. And when this was 2012, and she said, "Papi, we need you need a Facebook, an Instagram, and a Twitter." And I mean, we all know what it was, but not all of us were participating in these platforms. And I said, "Sure, honey, do it. You're my campaign manager." And she really ran a great digital marketing strategy that got me elected. So I got elected in 2012 to the school board, and she ended up graduating high school the following year. And I've seen my daughter. I was a banker at the time. It's funny, you're a banker, but I was just a personal banker at the time. After coming back from Afghanistan, and I used to network with a lot of businesses. And I told my daughter, she was graduating high school and she's working as a host in different restaurants. I said, honey, what you did for me, there's a lot of small businesses out there who need someone to help them with their social media marketing, and you should start your own company. And that that summer, so she graduated 2013, August of 2013, we we decided, she decided really that she's going to do it. She's going to start her own company. It's a digital marketing company, and we ended up calling it Nonnahs Marketing. Nonnahs is her name backwards, Shannon, and she joined a networking group, and that's kind of where Nonnahs Marketing began. It's a digital marketing company that specializes in social media marketing.
Mhm. Mhm. So, what? Well, I said. So, what was? What do you think was the driver? Like, what? How do you think like your military background helps you succeed in all these different areas? Like, so you went into banking, you went into marketing, you went into politics and things like that. Like, again, these are very atypical paths. These are kind of like there's no. This is not a straight line deal here. Like you went from here to there to here to there. But what do you think? Do you think your military background had a lot to do with just getting you through those different obstacles and pushing through?
Well, I think one of the things that the military shows us is how to adapt to different environments, right?
Right.
Um, but it's not just adapting to the different environments. You learn leadership from from great leaders. You learn how to manage people. You learn that the people you're surrounded by, you can have a difference of opinions. You can have a difference in in thought, in culture, and still get along and still work together to accomplish that mission. And I think skills like that are important wherever you go, being able to get along with other people, right? Um, Known as marketing, uh, I think the skills that I brought into the company were more of we've been, when you're in the service, you've had your ups, but you've also had your downs, right? And one thing you learn is no matter how bad things get, there's it can be better. You can overcome those challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some rough spots at Nonnahs where we didn't know if the company was going to make it or not. I mean, being an entrepreneur is very challenging. I think for your listeners who want to be an entrepreneur, who want to start their own companies, support, man, you need a lot of support. You need more support than you think you do. And it's not just financial support, you need emotional support, um, you need mental support, because it's the reality is being an entrepreneur is it's not a 40-hour work week. I mean, I remember seeing these memes where you give up working 40 hours a week to work a 60-hour week to get paid what you could have been getting paid when you were working a 40-hour work week.
Right. Right.
And so, but overcoming those challenges, and having the support that I had. So I had support from my wife, uh, I had support from my daughter and my kids, and they were on board with this company. They were on board with the business. We knew that it isn't a 9 to 5 job. It's, oh, look, it's dinner time. Well, guess what we're talking about during dinner?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about work.
Right.
Oh, now dinner's over. Let's go watch a Netflix show. Let's not. I got a better idea. When we finished what we were doing at work, being an entrepreneur is challenging. It's tough. I think uh, being in the military, being deployed, serving overseas, serving in challenging environments, those are the kind of things that help you adapt into the entrepreneurial world, and just being able to grind things out. That's a big one. Is can you grind it out? And I think most service members can grind things out. And being an entrepreneur, there's certain things you have to do to. Sometimes you have to just grind things out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think that's something. I think you hit on something, but I want to kind of go back around again and talk about. You can't be afraid. You can't think you do this on your own. Okay, this is not a one man operation. Okay, I mean, even if you're starting your own business and you are, the head janitor and the CEO and everything like that, you still need support from people around you. Like I said, I covered it on the first show, talking more about teamwork, where I talked about you have to be working side by side with your banker, your CPA, and your attorney, you know so that way you're making the most educated decisions you can in your business. But that leads to being able to delegate certain things. That leads to being able to get information and to see things from different perspectives that you're not seeing it. So it sounds like to me it kind of coincides with what we were speaking about too. Like obviously you had support around you, and you weren't. This wasn't your thing, or this wasn't just Shannon just doing this on her own. It was definitely a group effort.
Absolutely. Our company would not function without the support that we get from not just our team within the company, but outside of the company. We lean on other professionals and other experts in their industries to help us move forward, whether it's networking groups, chambers, um, whether you talk about a CPA, a bookkeeper. Man, I don't know what we would do without our bookkeeper. And again, we're good at what we do. Often we don't know what we don't know, right? And that's when you reach out to other folks. I think people that could help up and coming entrepreneurs include business coaches, marketing professionals, because again, we have this vision of this is how we're going to sell A, right? When the reality is the best way to sell A or this specific widget could be, it's already out there. There's best practices out there, and reaching out to other folks who can help you with your ideas. That's a support that you need to be successful.
Absolutely. And the reason why I wanted to have you on too, because you know, like I said, what I my the I changed the name of my company over to VEBS, Veteran Essential Business Services. Your marketing, your social media marketing, and the things that you do for small business are absolutely critical. So this is one thing I want the listeners to listen to is like, social media is such an animal unto itself. Like you're out there doing your thing and you're out there producing your product or providing your services. Going to somebody like Nonnahs marketing is, I think, is absolutely critical. You got to delegate that unless you're like super savvy, which I am not. I know I just do it. To me, it's just blunt force trauma. I just go out there and just keep punching. But when you're, I wanted you to talk about how you can assist our brothers and sisters of the DD214 in their businesses, and what you could do to help expand uh, their footprint and things like that, and how you can come alongside of them and they can delegate things like the social media marketing to you guys. And of course, you are one of the brothers of the DD214, so you are, you speak our language. So go ahead and talk to the brothers and sisters out there and explain to them like how you can enhance their business and take that massive workload off their shoulders, so that we can just keep being the tip of the spear and driving forward.
Well, I think at a minimal, just things that come to mind when it comes to social media and small companies or small businesses is just knowing what your digital footprint is, right? We all have different digital footprints. You should at least audit yourself. If I were any one of your listeners, I'd Google my own name, right, and see what comes up. I'd Google my company name and see what comes up. And Google doesn't lie with that. I mean, Google will tell you where the traffic is coming from, and increasing your digital footprint is important. Not only increasing, but improving your digital footprint. So you can go back and self-audit and see what people are saying about you. Self-audit your LinkedIn account. Self-audit your Facebook, if you have Facebook. If you're a Twitter person, improve your Twitter game. And when I say improve it, I don't mean it's not necessarily the content you're putting out there, but what is actually written about you. What do you have out there? Remember, people see this, right? And they save it, and it's there forever with screenshots. So when you're if you're a business and you're trying to improve your digital footprint, get a second opinion. Always get a second opinion. Get because the thing with digital marketing, and it's not just when I say digital marketing means a lot of different things. There's social media marketers, there's SEO, there's PPC, search engine optimization, pay-per-click on Google, website designers. There's layers and layers and layers of different fields within digital marketing. So I'm really grouping an entire industry here. But there's really not a certification or a degree. I mean, they have degrees for it, but they don't have like a I am a certified digital marketer. So anybody can just put up their shingle and say, oh, I do social media for a living. So be careful when you're shopping for somebody. I would always get a second or even a third opinion. That's what I mean by support. Like, reach out. Nonnahs is happy to help out any of your listeners, any veterans out there. We do free audits all the time and just kind of put people in the right direction. Like, this is what you can improve on. This is what you're doing good, what you're doing bad, and what you can improve on, and how much these services range for. So if you're out there shopping and someone quotes you, $2,000 a month to run an Instagram account, and somebody else is saying, hey, we'll do it for $200 a month, you got to be careful, because that's a very wide range, and somebody might not be doing anything for you and the other person might be overcharging. So get a second opinion. When it comes to digital footprint, it matters. People are looking at it. People are clicking on it. This is the primary driver of traffic for a lot of small businesses, is their social media platforms. And the most popular social media platforms today are Instagram. I would say the hottest thing in the last, at least in 2020, was TikTok. But things that are established that I would definitely get involved with if I could, are Pinterest. So Instagram and Pinterest are really hot. Both of those platforms are very popular and useful. A lot of decision makers use those for different reasons. So Pinterest is kind of a very weird social media platform, because it's more of a long play than it is a short play. Most people who use Pinterest, first of all, the majority of users on Pinterest are women. So it's like 90+% are women. And when they pin something, they pin what they want, let's say a new set of cabinets, right? Let's say you're a cabinet maker. If you're a cabinet maker and you're on Pinterest and someone pins your cabinets and they say, this is what I want, they're not really looking for that in the next day or the next week or even the next month. Most Pinterest users are really shopping for 60 days out, 90 days out, 6 months out. So it's really a long play, but the plus side to that is they're willing to pay a premium for it too. They're not really shopping. When they find that perfect cabinet on Pinterest, they're going to pay whatever you're paying, whatever you're charging for that. So we find that a lot of home services people who use Pinterest end up making more off of Pinterest than people who aren't using it, because people who, the same home services who aren't using it, with the clients that they get typically are shopping around. Meanwhile, the people who are using Pinterest, those shoppers, they know what they like and they want that, and they're willing to pay a slight premium for it. So Pinterest is a perfect example of a really hot platform. Instagram has been hot for the last 2-3 years. Facebook is the animal. It's the biggest, it's the elephant in the room. It's the juggernaut. In order to do advertisement on Instagram, you gotta have a Facebook account. Twitter, mainly male dominated, in case your listeners didn't know. Twitter is like 90% male dominated. So those are, and then there's LinkedIn. Those are more professional services. LinkedIn is another popular platform, but it's the people who are knocking down our doors are usually asking for Instagram, Facebook. Those are kind of and in another hot platform recently is Messenger. So chatbots are a really hot topic.
And I think you're speaking Chinese to me. So, so you see, that's why we need to hire Noda's marketing, because, like I said, I know, like I said, I know how to talk to people. I know, about business, finance, and things like that. So, why don't you go ahead and give everybody your contact information and how they can get a hold of you guys, and maybe they can set up appointments and things like that. So that way, like I said, people can reach out to you, and like you said, maybe you can start working with them to help, let's say, get this elephant off their back.
They can go to Nonnahs Marketing, nonnahsmarketing.com. Nonnahs is just the name Shannon, Shannon, spelled backwards. They can also just search me up. They can Google me, MosesSanchez.com, or and be happy to help out any of your listeners and do whatever we can to improve their digital footprint. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. See, this is the thing. This is why I wanted to have you on, because now, like you said, shop around, do that kind of thing. To me, like I said, you're my guy. So this is the thing to all the brothers and sisters out there. this is who I'm going to recommend. Okay, there's a lot of people out there doing it, and there's a lot of, but my brother Moses here, like I said, Navy vet, family man. I know him, his family, everybody. I just outstanding people in general. I couldn't recommend you guys highly enough. There just aren't words. So I just wanted to thank you
Thanks,
for taking
Chris.
the time to get on with us, share your knowledge, and share your story and things like that. Thank you so much, and say hi to the family for me, and have a Merry Christmas. And so we're gonna wrap it up here. Here at Here's the Deal. As always, I like to say, thank you first of all to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for just saving a wretch like me and let me do what I'm blessed to do. Of course, I always got to thank my family, my wife, and my kids for supporting me in this endeavor. And as always, I got to thank the audience because, like I said, without you guys, we're not putting on this show. So thank you all very much. And thank you to the sponsors as well. And I am Chris Flowers, and this is Here's a Deal. And we are out. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.